steady. It's staying pretty steady. Everybody, thanks for joining us in the stream. We'll be back in just a minute.
Sorry, boys.
Oh, it's pretty steady. It's setting at 3,000
Okay, good.
kbs per second.
All
Kildo bits per second.
Ready? Sorry, dudes.
Let's go.
Bah. Oh!
Hey! We didn't do the Instagram video. That's okay.
That's okay.
Because everyone's here already.
Hi, everyone.
The 0 people? That's
Well,
not right.
it's because it's
Populating. It's fine.
it's poopalating.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the cult that is the Exp Talk Show.
Hello.
Steve and I just so mysteriously wore the same color shirt today.
White. I think it's a
White
pretty
with-
common shirt color.
It is, but for some reason, when you have two guys standing next to each other and the graphics are just like
Kinda
right in the front of
similar.
it, you just kind of seem like you're in the cult.
Yeah, it is pretty black and white, right?
Just, you guys
got
are all
reading.
part of the cult too. You guys made it. 0 people here.
Welcome in, everyone.
Welcome to the Exp Talk Show. My name is R2 Litu,
My name is Steve, aka
And,
Conky Donk 64.
and we're here to just pour, just take. Okay, you double boil, right? You know you guys double boil stuff, right?
Holy shit,
Hell yeah. He's here. Sockshawk is here.
dude, Kurt.
He's a jam. He's
What
a
are you
jam
doing?
jams. We're talking about double boiling. So this is what we're gonna do. You guys know when you double boil stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're making a nice the sauce for a nice Benedict, like eggs Benedict. What is it called? Hollandaise sauce.
It's a sauce,
right?
yes.
Or you're melting chocolate over a stove. What we're doing with this show is taking that and then putting a little bit of science fact, a little bit of discussion, a little bit of ADD, a little bit of thought process, a little bit of tripping through thought, putting that over a double boil, melting that one down, and just pouring it all over you sweet babies out there.
I'm noticing things. Sorry.
Stop noticing things. Everything is perfect. So we're just here to just try to have these great conversations, talk about a little bit of science. We got a lot of stuff ready for you guys for today. We're back another week. It feels like the weeks are either really far apart or they're really short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This week I felt like I hadn't seen you in like 3 weeks.
I know. And I was here last week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then before that, it was like I felt like I was there the day before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very weird how this show kind of gets our brains working.
I think it
and
was the
stuff like that.
holiday though. I mean, like that, dude. That 4th
It
of
might have
July
been.
was like,
Yeah, 4th of July kind of stretched it out.
yeah,
You know
definitely.
what I mean? Yeah. So if you guys are joining us for the first time, welcome again. So we love to have like science field conversations based off of stuff that we've looked up, articles that we found,
Right?
thoughts about society that we would like to discuss. And we especially appreciate everybody joining us in the chat, so you guys can join us along. A couple plugs real quick. So again, as you can see everywhere. Oh my gosh, more cheers!
Science.
For science! For science!
Kurt, what do you do? Thank you so much.
Try not to peek these microphones. Make sure you guys aren't hurting you in your ears and stuff. So every week we try to do this podcast talk show pause.
Show pause?
Yeah, I love it every time we do that. Just because
The
it's
talk
like,
show podcast.
Talk show podcast.
Pod show.
Pod show.
This is
talk
pod
cast.
racing.
Now this is pod racing.
Zeros, thank you so
Oh,
much.
you gotta love it.
Science.
So we do the show every week, Thursday, 7:30, 7 o'clock ish, Central Standard Time.
Yep.
We're out here in Chicago, and we've been doing this show for quite some time. If you guys would check us out, 2 years, really?
I think so. I feel like we need to have like an anniversary episode or something.
But I don't know the date. I don't know what we classify as like the day we started. You know
I
what
don't
mean?
know.
We'll have to
We'll
figure
figure
it
it
out.
out. We can
That's
just
for
make it
future
up.
episodes. Yeah, it's today. But yeah. So a couple quick plugs. So you guys can follow us on social media. You guys see the stuff below. But like with our website, the XP Talk Show. .com. You can find all of our information, where to follow us, check our Facebook. There's a Twitter page, there's an Instagram page, all the EXP Talk Show. You can find us and just see what like the crazy stuff that we post, see when we're going to be going live every week. And also we got teas.
We got teas.
We got fresh teas. Not sipping teas, t-shirts. Great logo. Got the gorilla on it. Looks just like this. Got them in some pretty cozy t-shirts. If you head over to the websites, you can check them out. They're so sick.
Just click. Honestly, just go through the info panel. If you click, I think it's the first image.
Yes.
It'll take you right to the website. You guys can buy a t-shirt if you want. It's all direct shipment. I haven't done international stuff yet. I don't know how to do it.
We don't have any international people here.
Yeah,
right?
not yet. No, we do. We do actually.
Do we?
Yeah, Jaeger I think is international. So is Zeros, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you guys got to make your way over here in America, man.
But it's so cool that you guys listen to us, like, even though you're not from here. Riley, he's in the UK. He's in Great Britain.
He's in Great Britain.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do very many accents,
don't do that.
so we're not going to do that. Can't offend anybody.
But welcome in, everyone.
Yes.
But yeah, as far as the talk show today, we're going to start off how we always start off, you know, recapping our week. Lee, how was your past week?
Oh, the week was jam-packed. Had a tickle in my throat. So yeah, jam-packed. It was like, well, actually not quite the opposite. Only yesterday was jam-packed. So yesterday was the 4th of July, celebrating America's birthday. And I went back to my hometown out in the western suburbs.
Nice.
And I saw like 2 different like parades, and like it was just like a cool throwback, like when going back to your old hometown and like seeing Boy Scouts that like walk down like the parade, and I was like, oh, I was in that troop, or the like a soccer team I was a part of, or something like that. So it was kind of a cool
kind of nostalgia.
Yeah, it was very very nostalgic.
I used to be that tiny.
Yeah, and I used to be in that parade, and it was terrifying. And I remember how much pressure it was to like walk through and have everybody stare at you and stuff like that. So it was exciting. The night before, I hung out with some old like punk rock buddies of mine, and we had Mad Dog night.
What's that?
You ever had Mad Dog? So it's a really shit like mull wine that's like flavored very poorly, and it kind of tastes like battery acid. It's not good, but but you get it. It's like $3 for like a glass bottle of it, and it's like liquor. It's like liquor basically.
But
it's like
wine.
what malt liquor is to beer is to wine.
So it's the malt liquor of wine.
Yeah,
like
and
a 40 ounce of wine.
Kind of, but not in a 40 ounce. And it's just like, and they had just like wacky flavors like blue raspberry and like all that shit.
So we had the young kids are drinking it.
And that's like I didn't drink all through high school.
Mad
but
Dog
like,
2020. Yeah,
yes, Mad Dog 2020, baby. You know the Mad Dog.
So you had a Mad Dog night. Did you guys each collectively have your own bottle then?
Normally that's kind of how it goes, but like so they my buddy started doing it when I was like when I didn't drink in high school. So but when they would go stupid. They would just like walk around the city of Chicago like drunk on Mad Dog, and then just like cause like a ruckus everywhere and stuff.
It sounds like a CNBC news report, like kids are doing Mad Dog 2020 in the streets of Chicago.
It was like a
So what did you guys do this time
thing.
Since like you guys used to be fucking what was it?
And like delirious and delinquent. Yes.
Yeah.
We were delinquent.
So what was the updated I grew up and had Mad Dog 2020
like
day?
Maybe a few sips of it and like like hanging out in the backyard at this like barbecue, and it was like because all of us are like over 30 now, and we're just like like I can't party like I used to, and but it was so fun just like to see them, because I hadn't seen some of these guys in such a long time and stuff. So it was like another nostalgic moment of hanging out with my old punk rock buddies and stuff, and it was just like it was super cool. But Mad Dog is just, you gotta experience it, like Malort, right?
Yeah.
So like for those of you who have never heard of Malort before, it's kind of like it's a Chicago tradition. It's a liquor that I still to this day can't really describe. But it's like rubbing alcohol mixed with garbage water, and it's not good.
Not garbage water, but it definitely it's like expecting to drink alcohol, but when you drink it, it tastes like how nail polish smells.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. And with
it hurts you.
It's not good, but
your
it's
lips are dry. You're like,
why? It's like when you put rubbing alcohol on like an open wound, and it's just like it's not good. But
your whole throat's instantly dehydrated.
Yeah, it's ew.
But anyway,
it's a rite of passage in Chicago. It's like you if you come to Chicago,
Gotta
have some Malort. So so this was kind of that same feeling to a degree. It's like you just gotta try Mad Dog, get it out of the way, and then you can say that you've tried Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah, I guess that's the appeal, right? If it's like something so bad that you had to try it.
Yeah, like Southern Comfort. That's like nothing. That's like nothing compared to like Malort.
Were you guys reminiscing about like how you? I mean, about the stuff that you did. Like, did you guys talk about your favorite memories? And
well, so the other thing, like one of our good buddies, he had passed away like in his sleep like a few years back. So this was like kind of like a remembrance of him and stuff. Damn. So it was just like everybody just getting back together and kind of like thinking about those old times and like. We were so drunk, or like, remember the show we went to, or remember the show we played, or like, remember when you hit me over the head with something and everything. So it's like, it's kind of just those like stupid memories and stuff. But that was pretty much the highlight of the week. Everything else has been like wedding. We sent out some of our invitations, which I should have gotten yours.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hand deliver yours personally.
Awesome.
Because you gotta get, and it's so cute. They're so fucking cute.
Okay.
They're so fucking cute. And this is like fridge magnet worthy.
Oh, is it a magnet?
No. Oh. You just put it up with the magnet.
I gotta use a magnet? Man, you're asking a lot. I'm just kidding.
Man, you better put that up. You better put it up. How was your week, dude? Tell me the good deeds.
It was good. I would say like it was just a lot of applying for jobs and stuff, and I'm getting tired of not working. It's like making me uncomfortable.
I know, it's like, especially if you have like an ADD brain, you got to be moving all the time.
Yeah, I want to be doing stuff, and like when the stuff that I've been doing is like getting old, that's when I'm like, ugh. That's why like I haven't been streaming this much this week.
Yeah.
Because normally I'll like start the morning, and I'm still starting the mornings like this. I'll start the morning, work out, and then make food, do whatever adult crap I need to do, and then job stuff until about like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then I start streaming, and then.
And just do the thing.
Do that, but that cycle is like I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah,
because it's routine.
I can understand.
And I fucking hate it.
Oh yeah, routine is garbage. Like being able to mix it up and just like, oh yeah.
Even just changing the order like doesn't help because I know like I know what the end result is and it's me not working.
And it's almost kind of funny. It's almost funny that you think that way because it's like. And obviously, this is not, you having all this like time off is not on purpose, of course, and everything. Right. But like people dream of not having to work. You know what I mean? And it's like, and if we all literally didn't work, or we just have the entire day to do absolutely nothing, or whatever we want, that's where I think like we're all programmed to just have to be busy.
Yeah.
Because everyone just when you have to work, like everyone just knows that they have to work. So it's like, it's interesting that. You get into that mental state where it's like you have all the freedom to do whatever you want,
right?
And you hate it.
Yeah.
It's like it's
yeah, because like it's a flip. Like when you're working so much, like you really enjoy those days off. But like now that I have every day off, it's
right. Like, it's the same thing I think of like weather in Chicago.
Yeah.
Because everyone is like the weather sucks in Chicago. It's not consistent. It's all over the place and everything. And I'm like, I like that. Because if I was in 75 and sunny degree weather in California every day, I would get sick of it.
I don't know, man.
I would totally get sick of it, and I know you would too.
No,
dude. All right, let me paint a picture for you. Okay,
paint it.
So this, because I tell everybody this all the time. So it's like, think about right now. Okay, so it's hot, it's muggy.
Yeah, because it
warm.
just
I know.
Thunderstorm.
Let me finish. So it's hot, it's muggy, it's gross, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now imagine a crisp breeze, 50 degrees outside, 40 degrees outside.
Sure.
You're cold.
Yeah.
And then you get to put on that nice, like, toasty jacket.
Yeah.
You get to maybe put your hood up if you're feeling frisky.
Sure.
You go home, you maybe set up, maybe you have like a nice hot cup of, Joe with whiskey in it.
Decaf coffee
with whiskey
in
it.
Hot toddy.
And then you just light a fire and you just do that.
Can't light a fire, but
it's okay. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing where it's just like you get so used to it, like every summer, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I love this, fuck, it's hot, I'm sweaty, I hate this, and then just when I'm about to shoot myself in the head, winter's here, and then the same thing happens where it's like, it's cold, it's fucking cold, it's freezing, I can't feel my toes, everything's moist, and all that kind of stuff.
Everything is moist.
#everything is moist. And then just when I'm about to just slip, spring comes, and then it's just like, oh fuck, I can just get to wear a t-shirt. So I just like this season. Well, we don't have spring, but we at least have nice weather.
I'm gonna push back on you a little bit.
All right.
In California,
okay,
it's sunny 340 days out of the year.
That's depressing.
In the shade, it's like 60 degrees.
It's depressing.
It's amazing.
It's depressing. I just don't think I can handle it.
Go out every day. They got beaches.
I know, and so that's I mean, it's funny you say that. So when I was in California, I've kind of experienced that, and I had this really weird like epiphany where the culture in California is very much like everyone's out on the street, kind of like having a good time and everything like that, which I appreciate. I do, right? But the culture in something like Chicago, like there is that balance. There's that balance where you could like have people come over when it's nice and cold outside. You have like a nice dinner party.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
but
so
all these things can happen
everything
with
can
nice
happen.
weather.
Yeah, everything can happen. Don't get me wrong, right? But I just prefer the mix and match of it.
I think
to
the
the
nice
point
thing
of
about
like not having a whole day off.
My opinion of the fucked up weather is that it forces you to do things inside and work because of the whole like, well, I can't just like go outside and do something. But that's the only thing.
Okay. I guess we'll agree to disagree here. You know, but
same goes for Florida. Yeah, probably.
Fuck Florida. Fuck everything about Florida. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
Most things.
The most things.
It's the moistest. I'm pretty sure Florida, is the moistest state.
It's gotta be. It's like, what's the armpit of America?
It's Florida.
Is it Florida?
It's Florida or Indiana. It's one of the two.
Well, Indiana's not that hot.
I'm assuming Miami Brothers is from Miami,
or is
and
Florida
they're brothers.
Like the gooch of...
Florida's the slow poo of America. Like,
literally the shape.
And then eventually,
it's hot.
To go along with this analogy, that it's just gonna get clipped off because of global warming, and then it's just gonna break off.
Which is our fault.
Which is totally our fault. You know.
We wanted Florida to go.
I'm sorry. Happened. Didn't mean to diss Florida, but
Tangents.
Truly, Florida is a mucky state. Let me tell you. Anything else happened like this past week, dude?
I didn't even start talking about my week, but what else?
Yeah.
Did you have anything else?
No, dude, that's all I got. I talk too much sometimes.
I feel like it's just like it's been uneventful. I did like my 4th of July. I got to hang out with just James, my buddy, and a few other friends.
Sure, that great picture was taken.
Yes.
Excellent.
We had some smoked brisket and sausage, lots of chippies, and it was just like
barbecues are great, man.
Oh, dude, it was so good. I ate so much that when I got home, I just went to sleep immediately and then woke up like 2 hours later.
That's the best sleep, dude. When you're like the fatty sleep.
Ugh, I was so uncomfortably full.
You're just so like pudgy full, and you're just like.
It was terrible. I don't know why I did it to myself. Yeah, I do. Because smoked brisket.
Because your body felt like it needed it right then and there. You know.
Maybe.
It needed
I think
to
I
celebrate
just forced it a
with
little bit because I was like, you know what? I'm definitely like pretty full right now, and I shouldn't finish eating this. But then like when I had some of that smoked brisket, there was just this like. Caveman part of me was like, you don't know when the next time you're gonna have this brisket, bro.
You don't know when the next hunt will be.
Yeah, exactly.
You must fill now.
You must fill now.
you're going into hibernation, so you might as well eat as much as you can.
Exactly, that's what it felt like.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Brisket, man.
The armpit of America is New Jersey. Okay.
I guess I could see that.
Brisket.
Got some crazy people out there in New Jersey, but.
Yeah. But
awesome.
That's it. I mean, it wasn't a super eventful past week, but
That's the best, dude.
Yeah.
We got so we went to this like newish like liquor store / bar downtown Glen Ellen, and Elaine wanted to get. I pointed this out. Solemn Oath has this beer. It's like a saison, and it's Larry Trotter or something like that.
Yeah, I saw.
It's like a Harry Potter taking Harry Potter, and we got that. It's actually a pretty good beer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Solemn Oath. Shout out to Solemn Oath.
I love that brewery.
Great brewery outside of Chicago.
Got good stuff.
So great stuff. But yeah, dude, it's just like good food, good,
Ooh.
good hangs.
Sounds good to me.
Right?
All right, what science do we got this week, Lee?
Dude, we got a few sciencey things. Today may end up being a short episode. We're going to see how the story plays out here.
How it feels.
I think both of us, for how much moisture has left our body through sweat, in this weather and how much has happened yesterday.
Oh yeah.
How much
like
adventure.
Super taxed from just
literally
existing
deflated.
outside and drinking beer and eating so much food. Like the residual.
Yeah.
Like I'm still in hibernation.
It's almost like you know that the very end of your toothpaste tube, right? It's like you're rolling it out, and then you have to like squeeze the last remaining things of your toothpaste. I feel like that is both of us right now.
Yes.
Oh, everyone. Oh, you're hosting. Oh,
it was James.
James.
My man.
So we got a few things for science today. You want to start off with yours? You want to start? What do you want to start?
I would say you're more prepared than me. So let's start off with the space. What was it?
Okay.
I want to say Space Wars, but it's not it.
Space Force.
Space
dude.
Force.
By prepared, you mean I thought of this like 2 hours ago.
Yes.
So like.
Yes.
So we truthfully come up with some of these subjects like that quick, but I think we could definitely turn into a good conversation. So. You guys have probably heard this before. Our glorious president of the United States talked about this fairly recently, and this idea is not new. I want to preface this by saying this was not Donald Trump's idea. I feel he just wanted to
take credit for things he doesn't want.
100%.
Or take credit for things that he thinks he should be credited for.
Exactly.
Like he does all the time.
Yeah, pretty much his entire presidency.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he just wanted to put his stamp on a meme to a degree. Like it's a hashtag.
Maybe.
Right? Like that's kind of what he does, is that he, like, you can almost tell that he's just like, as president, I want to start a space force. Like he'll kind of like aggressively put that phrase on it, so it's like it almost makes it into a term. So he was shitting out of his mouth again, and he said this space force he wants to create. So it's like a branch of the military that essentially is exactly how it sounds. It's like a branch of the military in space.
Gotcha.
Now right out of the gate, you're just like,
why?
Why would you do that? There's no problem. There's no land to consume. There's no anything or whatever it is, right?
Right.
Right now, the International Space Station exists. There is literally a coalition of multiple countries, like Russia and America and China included, that all, coexist on this space station outside the atmosphere,
like
right?
we should on the planet.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
But anyway.
If that's not the best, indicator of what we should be doing. But, so then old 45 was just like, we got to create a branch of the military so that we could defend, we're eventually going to have to defend ourselves the more and more people go into space. So you have you have these, you have like SpaceX, you have Virgin Galactic, you have
Virgin Galactic sounds badass.
Yeah, it sounds badass, but it's all from Virgin, and Virgin Mobile is a part of that. Anyway.
Interesting.
So, and then Steve Bezos' company,
Amazon's company?
Blue Origin. Yeah, Blue Origin.
Okay.
So you have all these privately funded space organizations that are starting to making it easier for companies in this case America that are going into space, right? Privatized space travel is really where it comes. So that is not going to be stopped in any other countries. So it's just a matter of time until other countries start to build these coalitions and start going into space. So it's like, so then you're telling yourself like, what do we need to defend? What is up there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's true. It's like, what do I don't think right now we need to think about it per se. Not enough people on the planet are that focused on space travel where we'll have too many people up there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe if you could take a weekend trip to the moon. Maybe that's when it probably has
tight.
Which sounds amazing, right?
Yeah, it does.
But maybe that's when we'll have to start thinking about it, making moon bases and start, claiming land on the moon and stuff like that. But as of right now, I think that it's a waste. It's not a waste, but it's not a very good, outlet for our resources.
Yeah, of course. Well, I think the thought process behind it, based on the way he's thinking about it, is what bothers me, because having a space force is not what's needed, but what we do need is a way to understand our cosmic environment.
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, what I mean by that is identifying space oil. God damn it.
Get the space oil. So it's like, I guarantee you. Actually, okay, so finish your thought, because I got
I was gonna say, damn it, this space oil comic got me.
Space oil.
Of course. No, but understanding.
It's not wrong.
Understanding our cosmic environment, I think, is like super important because it would allow us to identify, potential threats such as asteroids or meteorites that would be in close proximity to Earth, and we wouldn't be on this like, it's gonna come by.
Yeah.
Like, in 4 hours, like.
Yeah.
And I'm a strong believer in the fact that if we had anything hurtling towards us, like, there's no way they would let anybody know because hell's gonna break loose.
Planet chaos.
Planet chaos. Not planet Earth anymore.
What makes you think that it probably already hasn't happened?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm like.
Buddy. Come on, think about it.
Well, okay, so
Tangent.
we've talked in previous episodes about a possible cataclysmic impact that happened around 11,000, 12,000 years ago, based on like scientific data from Grant Kirkhope. Grant Kirkhope is the fucking dude that did music for Banjo-Kazooie.
That's not the right guy.
Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson, who's a geologist,
yes.
Traveled all over the United States and like found this evidence that there was, cataclysmic flooding, and that's why everybody has a story about the Great Flood. It doesn't matter the religion or whatever. Every ancient history or ancient story has some sort of giant flood impact stuff.
Ours included.
But there was a new theory that came out, and I don't think I talked about this with you.
Yeah.
But it was I can't remember the terminology, but essentially the sun like flared up and caused.
Yeah, sun flare. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was a sun.
Solar
flare.
flares.
It wasn't. No, it was something. It was a way bigger scientific word than I know.
Let's come up with a word.
It was
Solarian terreste Flarian Flaretine.
Basically what happened was that the sun like excreted a huge amount of energy. It hit the earth, and what it caused was like thunder to rain down all over like the planet, and we receded into caves. That's why there's like cave drawings and like people talking about this thing. And the way he explained it, the scientist that was talking about it explained it, because he was talking about Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson. The theory is like a meteorite would be definitely like a possibility if we had an impact area.
Yeah.
But as of right now, like we don't really know where that is or what it is.
As far as for not for the dinosaurs, right?
Not for the dinosaurs. This is
really
for like human. We're talking about the human. No, dinosaurs like
yeah, they knew that. Yeah, they have that.
But we don't have a second impact, which was the hypothesis that they came out with like around that time. So
that they may have found yet.
Yeah, photosynthesis. But essentially, the sun erupted, hit the Earth, and it was so catastrophic to like the cosmic environment, to our climate and everything, that it literally caused. And he said that this wasn't the first time it happened. It was like on a smaller scale back when we invented the telephone. It blew out the entire network of telephone
Oh, so this
lines.
was like when civilization actually like existed too, or no?
So it happened 2 times. His hypothesis is the first time was around 12,000 years ago, because he's talking about, the eruption from the sun being so great that literally like rain, like tree-sized lightning was raining across the entire United States.
That's so hardcore.
Northern America and like the world. So people receded into caves because of all the lightning and drastic climate change. It caused the northern ice sheets to come down and fuck everything up, and then cataclysmic flooding, like all this stuff.
So there's like a whole story to it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's
right.
cool.
But I mean, again, like it's a hypothesis, but this guy, like, I mean, he's talking. Like, it seems really plausible, because the way this would happen would be if something hit the sun and caused a destabilization. So like a giant asteroid hitting the sun is more likely because of the gravitational pull of that.
Right.
And then,
but you don't think that the energy would just like burn the fuck out of it, like?
Well, I mean, we didn't have any networks or anything like that. You know what I mean? He was saying that if something happened of that caliber today, we wouldn't have internet, we wouldn't have electricity. Yeah. Like, it would just fry everything electronically. You know,
which is still possible.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Let me close the door here really quick.
So yeah, like it's So is that one thing? Do you think that we need like defense?
Well, I think that we need to understand the cosmic environment. So when we know,
I think that's just like the story of the Earth and the story of our solar system.
If we can take a satellite and launch it into space and use planetary trajectory to launch it even further into space, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'd be able to, because when we're talking about this stuff, I know it sounds all big and like wordy and everything, but the idea is that when we're in space in a vacuum, there's nothing affecting that other than gravity.
Yeah.
Right? Or other objects. So when we understand where everything is, then we can understand our cosmic environment and defend ourselves against things like that, or have precautions in place.
Yeah, the more that you just see other, the history of other planets, the history of our own planet,
right?
The more data you can gather, the better you can tell the story about like what could happen and what is going to happen to some degree. It's almost like imagine it this way, right? Where it's like, ooh, you ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm going to try this. Try to shit your brain out. So, so the same exact way that we develop the technology to, get outside of our orbit, right? And look back at our own Earth and see patterns of weather.
Yeah.
So the same way that we essentially predict weather,
right,
like you're predicting any sort of other like major cosmic activity if you take that next level out, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have that next level of telescopes and, scientific facilities outside of our planet and on the moon or just whatever it is. So it's like, so then you can gather to get that same degree. So it's just like, imagine, like a potential future, calling the future here.
Sure.
Because we do that on the show.
Oh yeah. We
call the future here on the show.
We were on a streak for like a 4-week period where we went off on tangents talking about things that were hypothetical, and then like a fucking article came out that was like, we're experimenting with this.
Right.
And it happened with ghost organs. Like we were talking about. So ghost organs, for people who don't know, ghost organs are organs that you can grow outside of your body using stem cells, and they call them ghost organs because they're completely white. They don't have any...
Until you put blood through them.
Right. Once it's...
Westworld shit. Total Westworld shit.
Once it's put into your body, it's because it's your own cells, it gets absorbed. The body doesn't reject it or anything. There's no worry about like disease or like rejection of the organ, and it just turns the right colors based on it being in your body.
It's growing an organ from scratch.
Right,
it's
and they were like, okay, well if they're doing that, like theoretically, couldn't you just have like a standby body without like a brain, like not a person, just a robot that could have those organs functioning so that if anything went out or needed to be replaced, you'd be ready to go. And then like a week later, they were like, experimenting with robots with extremely sensitive internal like organs and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like so we have some fun streaks of it. It's been a while since we've actually like predicted anything per se, but my prediction in the distant future, it's probably distant future,
the year 2000?
In the year 3000.
The distant future, the year 3000.
Is like a weatherman or woman, like for like cosmic activity. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be tight. Like
right?
In a space outfit.
Yeah.
Like we're going to gym in Sector 7.
right. Headed over to Scott in Claudius 4529. How you doing up there, Scott?
We got a... Oh, wait, no, there's a
he's
delay.
Like in space. And
there's gotta be like a bigger delay.
Not in the distant future, man. Like, we're gonna get radio signal that's gonna go straight like that. That's
true.
So like, I just predict this just like this weather person, it's saying like, well, it's a cloudy skies today, and we got a couple of comets coming in from 42 degrees east and 32 degrees west. Coming from Sector 7G.
There's a windstorm off of Neptune's moon that may change their trajectory and could
someone make this? Could someone make this show for us, please? Like, make the show for us. But if you don't make it scientifically accurate, we're shutting it down. So
we have the power to do.
We have the power to shut this whole network down. But it's but I kind of foresee that. So that's kind of along that same line of like next level, cosmic exploration, and so sad news that I thought I was going to bring up, and I'm glad this is actually segueing into it.
Okay.
Just very briefly, side tangent, is the James Webb telescope was delayed.
Why?
I don't know. I have to look into it. I just saw an article about it, and I started crying. So the James Webb telescope, for those of you who don't know, look it up. James Webb, with 2 B's, is the next generation, like,
Hubble
interstellar...
telescope.
Next generation Hubble telescope. It's going to be in interstellar space and, like, and just... be able to get like man, imagine like using a an Apple II,
computer.
one like yesterday.
It's like using Atari 2600 to play video games, and then having all the technology we have now.
Exactly. It's like that kind of stuff, because the Hubble telescope was launched maybe like 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
And it's still gathering data today that's incredible.
Right.
Right? Incredibly detailed and all this kind of stuff. That's how we got all those exoplanets that were discovered very recently. But then the James Webb telescope is going to be able to be like, this is what that planet is made of, and this percentage, and could inhabit life by this degree, and like all that shit.
Right.
So it was supposed to launch this year, and then it was supposed to launch next year, and now it's not till late till like 2021 or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a bummer. But anyway, so that extra level of just knowing how our solar system functions, because there's even talks of like this ghost planet that we don't even know is a part of our solar system. So it's just like we don't know a whole lot about where we are,
right?
So
and before we have a space force,
exactly. So it's
I think we should have tools to do that.
That's exactly right. And
the more
so now
we have, there's no guesswork. It's like we
yeah,
know where everything is,
right? But then if you think about it, with that in mind, of just like all of that information that is there for the taking. What's unfortunate is our human inclination is to, that's mine. Right, that's my information. That's mine, and I need to own this. Right.
Yeah.
So until we have world peace, which is very far,
we just
especially
need a
nowadays.
Global, fucking
Space Force.
Space Force. When he said
full circle,
like Space Force,
I know it sounds so stupid, but that's the term that he did, and he got us all. He made us all fucking believe.
And then they had like the fucking. Let's just show these stupid ass fucking Space Force uniforms.
Oh yeah. No. So like I think that that's the tough part. Oh, for real? Are these real? These aren't real. No, they're not real.
There you go.
It's full of galaxies.
Leaked Space Force official.
I like how leaked. Yeah, okay.
It's official.
Prototype. It's a bunch of galaxies and a bunch of stars. How cool is that?
You can't see me in space, dude.
Like what? Okay. So I think that's where like the practicality of a Space Force comes into play, is because there's so much information that's out there that we don't know, and like someone mentioned space oil, which was hilarious,
but also possible.
But that space oil, but that doesn't negate space resources.
Right.
So like what the To the Stars Academy?
Yeah.
Side plug to thestarsacademy.org. Boy, have we talked about them a bunch, and they're getting more and more in the news. By the way, that might be another episode pretty soon.
Oh yeah. We gotta get updated and then come back.
Hell yes.
Because that was like a while ago.
Mind melting shit.
Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 was like, I'm just disappeared for 4 weeks, and then he came back talking crazy shit, quote unquote.
Yeah, crazy shit that's now even being more legitimized. But
because he's working with top level officials. We'll talk
more
about that later.
Future episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that, it's like they're talking about some of the things with the To the Stars Academy. They're talking about materials that are like hyperconductive metals and all that kind of stuff that are from asteroids everywhere. So it's like, imagine, life getting to the point where you have space farmers and space mines and like all that shit. So it's like, it sounds super science fiction, but it's totally possible.
Yeah, we just need the technology and people to do it.
Exactly. And so now with that comes, okay, who's in charge? Who gets the resources?
Right.
And then it's just going to unfortunately turn to militaristic.
It should just be global.
Militaristic.
If
it really should.
Because like
the
way I'm thinking about it, and we've talked about this before, but like the whole like universal basic income is just really like the start. When there's so much abundance of things, like money doesn't really have any value. It's more about like how is everyone living, and if the whole human race is existing at their most efficient status, then we as a species get raised up to it.
Trust me, man. I am, and like
We're all in it.
It's not just like world peace. It's not just world peace. I believe that the collective amount of information that every society knows coming together. So like the same thing you're talking about with like the global floods. There's global flood stories that are everywhere on planet Earth. So just imagine everyone being able to put their stories together and then make history happen and basically go back in time to a degree,
Right.
you know? So anyway, so like, yeah, a peaceful world where everyone has one goal, and that's to know more about the universe, and then potentially
And
to
the
start
betterment of
to
humankind.
inhabit it. Just start to inhabit other planets and know how to do it. So,
Right.
but anyway, so the more that we talk about this, the more that we know what's not out there that we know, or what's not. Hold on. What's out there that we don't know, and then what's not out there that we know, or whatever it is. There's going to be people that are going to get grabby grabs, and they're going to want it. And so,
Yeah.
like, we have to have some sort of defense and some sort of whatever.
It's called go
Yeah.
in this room, talk to this therapist, and here are
Right.
a bunch of psilocybin mushrooms.
Yeah, and then there's just like, everything makes
Can we
sense.
just be real for a second? Can we just, if somebody's out there, can we just get a MDMA psychotherapy session for our president, please?
That would be
Thank you.
insane. I think that would be insane.
I don't even know what would happen. I think he would literally. I don't know if he could. I think he would die from the ego death.
Yeah, and I think that he would literally just shut down. I think his brain would just be like, I can't handle this. We got to go by.
No,
You know, it's
no.
like- but I don't know. We'll see.
Dude, MDMA is a powerful drug.
That's a hell of a drug. But so I think that so now that the more that you kind of think about it, it's like it's kind of inevitable.
Inevitable.
You know, it's inevitable that we have some sort of space force. So, guess what?
What?
Our hero, Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Tyson.
has a video. I put it up in the Discord, in the EXP resources.
If you guys want to join the Discord, it's !Discord.
!Discord. So we're gonna watch a quick video.
I've thought a lot.
That is Neil deGrasse Tyson on CNN, where he basically was like,
Oh, I hate this title.
"Not a bad idea." Not
Coming
not
to-
not a
soon
bad
to a
idea, but not
galaxy near
impractical.
you.
Yes, coming soon to a galaxy near you.
I need a pair of headphones.
That
for
is
me.
a Star Wars line. We can just
Really?
listen to one ear. This is
Oh,
one
yeah,
ear.
yeah.
It's
I
just
forgot.
talking. So
It's just toucan.
yeah, coming to a galaxy near you was one of the first Star Wars posters
Awesome.
for New Hope.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's dope.
Dutch Don
Yeah,
Juan.
so this is
Thanks for the follow,
it's a
bro.
5.5 minute video, so we thought we'd check this out, and it's just our hero just being our hero,
just Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's
Yeah,
Neil-
ha.
degrassing and Tysoning. So let's give this a Lorson.
Give it a Lorson. Again, Neil deGrasse Tyson on Trump's Space Force and how it's not a weird idea.
I've thought a lot about it,
Oh.
but I don't have a strong opinion. The idea of a space force is not a fundamentally odd when you consider that the Army, 70 years ago, birthed the Air Force. There was the Army Air Force, and once we realized that technology and warfighting capabilities evolve,
And was going to take place up in the
in the airspace rather than the ground space, then it
Ground
was
space.
sensible to suggest that perhaps this should be an entire branch of the military unto itself. So today, all space capabilities of the military are handled by the Air Force. That was the natural extension of what the Air Force people did. And it's huge. Air Force controls the GPS.
Right, most
which-
people don't
And I know
realize
someone who
that,
has a
yeah.
show called GPS.
but most people don't realize that GPS, which is really now basically the underpinnings of the digital economy. I mean, everything we do
Yes.
in terms of location
Billions of dollars of commerce.
is funded on the back of an infrastructure sustained, run by the U.S. Air Force.
By the U.S. Air Force, that's correct. And there's an entire
didn't know
place
that.
where that happens in
Damn.
Colorado.
Yeah.
The point is that we as a nation have assets in space of incalculable value. And so when you think of what a military does, as a minimum, they would protect a nation's interest, a nation's assets. And space is another place. You have the ground, you have the air, and you have space. So it's not a weird idea to say we perhaps should have a space force. The question is, does the Air Force think that they can't handle it under the current administrative, bureaucratic structures? And if not, then maybe it's a good idea. But if the generals say, we got this, then I don't see the need to force it on them.
What I also have noticed in the last few months is that the Chinese and the Russians have gotten more active in very interesting ways. So the Chinese went up and destroyed one of their old satellites, and the Russians went up and essentially deactivated one. And I thought that they were, in some sense, signaling, you know, we have the capacity to go up into space and to screw around with stuff or to destroy it entirely. The fact that they could do it to theirs means they could just as easily do it to American stuff.
Every single thing you do in space is a capability, okay? Can you send people into space? Can you dock in space? Can you spacewalk? Can you stay in space for months, for a year? Can you move a satellite? Can you destroy a satellite? Can you retrieve a satellite? All of this is you know, you make note of this. So once you have this checklist, then yourself as well as your adversaries will look to see whether any of these can be sort of weaponized or used for nefarious
Hammer of Dawn
purposes.
Yeah.
Do you think it's inevitable that space becomes an arena for conflict?
The UN Space Treaty that promises peaceful uses of outer space. By the way, there's more than just no
That's
nukes
awesome.
in space. It's if there's an astronaut in need from another country, then you're obligated to assist them. It's a very nicely worded document. But there's a part of me that always says, why do we promise we'll treat each other nicely in space? If that's successful, why don't we have a peaceful use of Earth treaty? Right. If it works there, it seems to me it should work on Earth.
Right.
And if we can't get it to work on Earth, why should I have any confidence at all that somehow, oh no, we're in space, now we'll all be friends?
But why would the arena make a difference? It's the political tensions that cause the rivalry.
And I know I sound cynical saying that, but human nature scares the hell out of me. And so
Damn.
I'm...
Right. This man should be
So
president,
I don't
bro.
know. I think it'd be nice if peace in space led the way to peace on Earth. That'd be kind of good. When you're in space, you have a very different view of Earth. Earth is like, whoa, how come I don't see the color-coded countries that were in my schoolroom globe? Oh, because we made those lines. They're artificially created. We're humans.
Can we just like take this quote
Just
really quick?
soak that shit up.
When you're in space, you have a very different view of Earth. Thanks,
Yeah,
CNN.
I love it.
On this
I love it.
speck of a planet we call Earth. And
Dude, the Earth
And it
is
seems
flat,
so
though.
small and fragile.
oh, yeah, because it is small and fragile. Just seeing that. It is small and fragile. By the way, I serve on a board of the Pentagon, the Defense Innovation Board.
Oh.
But I'm not speaking for that board, nor obviously for the Pentagon. By the way, there are future needs and concerns of what a space force
Still wearing the same
would have
space
to think
ties.
about, such as asteroid defense. All right, that's a complete space-based threat to the livelihood not only of a nation but of the world. And it may be that the cooperation of the world in space is to save civilization. And that could be the greatest force of peace there ever was.
Hell yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, as always, a
Unfortunately.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Dang,
so
dude.
fucking good, right?
I love listening to the man talk.
Oh,
he's
he's
so good at
so-
talking.
He's just good in every way.
I've thought a lot of
So that and now you can kind of see why I brought that video up and like why I wanted to bring that video up, because like I think his perspective whenever it comes to anything like space related is just so intellectual, and it's real, and it's inspirational, and everything, you know. So
Right.
so I think that's like such a good perspective that he has, where it's like it's kind of inevitable, like it's gonna happen.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. So I think it's like I love that video in every way, and it's like, so a couple things that he was talking about. So you think about, one thing that we didn't talk about necessarily was like just the threat of asteroids, just any sort of global threats outside of our planet. So it's like, so things like that are very real. They haven't really come across us yet per se, but there could be a time. Right. So that's an element of defense.
Yep.
And I love that he kind of put that perspective where it's like that's a global defense.
Right.
And so
We have to come together as a planet.
Right.
To
and
defend ourselves.
and like, his fear of human nature and just like that kind of shit. So it's like,
Well, he's right. Like I
Yeah.
mean, the cool that cool thing is that he mentioned was like the lines. Like we made these lines.
Yeah, and it's and that's like, and this is
you forget because
you
here.
totally forget. And so here's the other element to it.
Yeah.
It's like you're taught in school, like these are the boundaries. Right. But then you realize that there aren't physical boundaries that are between these things, right? And that's, you could say that about Trump's wall and like all these other borders and all that kind of stuff and everything. But like, especially with the technology that is becoming more and more readily available nowadays. So like 4K cameras that produce a live stream on the ISS.
Right.
Oh my gosh, is that
or a
perfect,
camera that
right?
records.
Or just anything any sort of high resolution camera that could just give you this perfect perspective of the planet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like, imagining a world where, we shoot a rocket out into space and we get far out in our orbit, or let's say it's like, it's a telescope on Mars that, it's a high resolution telescope on Mars that has a constant feed of what our planet looks like. Just whatever it takes.
Everything would be great.
Everything would be great because you're looking at the planet as a single unit, right? And it's like, and then you get more and more of the understanding where it's like, this is not going anywhere.
Right.
Everybody that's on, so everybody that's on this planet, you almost think that it's like, your backyard. It's like everyone is on your property. You know what I mean? It's like, and so everyone has to coexist.
Yeah.
Like that is inevitable as well.
The closest you can get to that, and I've done this a few times with my buddies, is we've gone to Colorado, right?
Yeah.
And you hike up a mountain, and you're like, I was down there.
Right.
And you can see the whole city in like one go.
Yeah.
That's like the closest thing you can get. But when you see the Earth,
oh god, it'd be insane. I mean, you do the same thing with planes.
Like I do that when VR I headset. It was just like,
oh dude, it was incredible. So it's like you just
this
get
is
this
the
crazy
scale at which everything exists. Like
right.
literally just.
It's in your hands. It's in your and both figuratively and literally, it's in our hands. Where it's like we got to treat this thing with some respect. So it's like, then also turning into like what he was talking about with just, like gosh, if you could, I hope. Oh boy, do I hope. Another hopeful future prediction is that it is space that brings us together as humans.
Well, I feel like we'd have to, because, like, I mean, imagine the whole world pooling resources together to accomplish a single goal of being able to move everyone.
That's unbelievable. Like building a giant spaceport, giant space transport thing. It'd be absolutely incredible. And
like,
it's like
I just want global peace, guys. I know I sound like a hippie, but like,
thanks for the host, bro.
Riley, thanks for the host, buddy.
Hell yeah. So like, so that I think is the whole concept of this, and it's like, and I really hope it's not called Space Force. It's unfortunate that's now the term because our president said it.
I think it'll be. I mean, what would you name it? What would you call it?
Okay.
Earth's Defense Force. That's a game. Galactic.
Because and some people were actually commenting on this when Trump said this. Force implies aggression.
Right.
So it's like you can't really necessarily call it aggression. Like I would call it the Galactic Defense Network or something like that.
Galactic Defense
something like
Network.
That. XCOM Earth Defense,
where we tap into the mycelium network of the universe.
Hell yeah, dude! That's the question for the chat, really quick.
What would you call it?
What would you call a future quote unquote space force?
Navy?
Space Navy? Really? Space Navy? Man, what do they pay you, buddy?
That's pretty.
But it's like, so I think that it's not a weird idea, and I
want to be part of the space army, Dad.
I know, man. Like I am not a fighter, as we both know, right?
Yeah.
But fuck, that'd be kind of cool, like being a part of that.
You would punch somebody if they got.
Yeah, if they got in the way of us, like kind of,
There's sometimes where me and Lee's hanging out, and he's like, "Dude, this fucking guy." Like, I'm like, "What?" It's the only time I see him. He's like, "This fucking douche. Look at this douche over here."
I mean, I could call somebody a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I'm gonna hurt them.
No, you'll defend yourself though.
I don't want to hurt. Yeah,
just like
I would
we'll defend ourselves.
I would punch in defense.
Asteroids.
Against
asteroids. No, but that's super cool, dude. I really like his. Anytime that man talks, it's just.
It's buttery.
You
Read his
gain
book.
perspective
Give him
on
money.
beautiful things. Just
Yeah.
become our president. Stop.
If any, no, not necessarily. Not even the president. He doesn't necessarily have to be the president.
I just
if he was
want
some
a
sort of
legion.
like, I want a science division of the government. That is like, you have your advocate, you have your leader of like, because there's like the EPA and there's like, you know, there's all these other like branches of the government that are
Yeah.
supposed to be scientific and everything, but like, give us something
They're
that
not
is
held
all,
accountable. So that's what
Yeah.
I want. Is a
They're not
league
held
of
accountable.
accountability.
Hell yeah. The
Where they're
League
like,
of
that's not in
Accountability.
line with how you protect Earth.
Right. This is the scientific
This is
backup
how you
of
should
this.
be doing it, and
Right.
then it's a way to give constructive feedback about how things should be done.
The United States space something. I think that's gonna stick.
It could stay.
So,
something space.
But yeah, I think just, you know, and again, this is not like I hope that this is gonna happen, but I just can't wait to see what that branch of the scientific government turns into, you know, because again, it's inevitable. You know,
Global
hopefully if
cosmic
like,
force.
you know, if
Yeah.
everything goes swimmingly this November, hint hint, nudge nudge, go vote. If everything happens like swimmingly, then it's like, and we have a chance at, you know, at bringing science to the forefront, and like that being, you know, the serious,
Oh,
you
I
know,
hope.
the serious explanation of it. Because someone was commenting, this was a while ago, but like, if you look back at a majority of our presidents, they're all like lawyers,
Right.
right? That kind of have to just like, they're really good at
They understand
knowing the law.
and politics.
Right, but like,
And how
imagine
to be bought.
right, exactly, and
how
so
much
almost
money
like
costs.
you know, think of a president that is a scientist.
I can't, but it would be so fucking cool.
Matter of time, dude. It is a matter of time. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when.
hope
For
so.
something like that. So I'm crossing my fingers.
I hope so,
I'm
because it's not
crossing
about
my
how
fingers.
you feel. Science doesn't give a shit about how you feel.
Because
You hear
it's
me?
true.
You hear me? Science doesn't give a shit about how you feel.
Whether you believe in it or not.
It's not about believing. It's
Well, I mean,
understanding the fundamental truth. That is,
some people say
Science.
they still believe in science or not.
some people think the Earth is flat,
Right.
and it hurts me.
It
You
does.
look at.
It
I feel like
sucks.
when you look at that image of the Earth, you're like, "That's so beautiful." But imagine it in 2D. You're like,
No.
why? Why do
What?
you even bother?
Who's fucking... Yeah, like...
Why do you entertain the idea that
Uh-huh.
that like would ever be the case?
It's one of those things where it's just like...
For those people, they should get free rides to space.
Yeah, or there's I think I mentioned this one before. There was like people that were petitioning to like create a TV show to, it was like all the flat earthers find the edge of the Earth. Like they'll
They should
get,
have a contest.
that would be so fucking
They
hilarious.
should give it $1 million to the first person that finds the edge of the Earth.
I would watch that so hard,
I would watch it too. Netflix,
right? Just make it one season. Netflix, hook it up.
dude.
And
Seriously,
if anyone's got any hookups at Netflix, pay for it.
we know
Start
you
a
guys watch the
Kickstarter.
show. We know you guys watch
Start
the
a
show.
Kickstarter, right? Start a Kickstarter to fund a show to get a group of flat earthers, probably like the Flat Earth Society specifically.
We can get 1 million people to pool $1.
Damn, dude. Could you imagine?
You would get $1 million if you found the edge
Could
of
you
the Earth.
imagine? And like, you just literally need to get a camera crew. You get the dumb idiots, the flat earthers, and then you get a fucking transportation. That's it,
Hell yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's like, and then like along the way, every episode is like them talking about their beliefs in flat Earth.
Yeah.
And then like they like another couple episodes is them traveling across the country and talking to people and like trying to argue their point, and like, and it's all from their perspective, because
Right.
you literally look at anybody who's a flat earther and you're like, how do you think this way?
Yes.
You know, and it's like, and so you want to get into that mindset of it, you know, and it's like, listen, no
You're doing
tatters.
drugs, stop it.
No tatters in here, man.
There's no show. We can't do that. TOS.
I mean, men's nipples are not as like frowned upon.
Socially acceptable.
Socially acceptable.
Well, no, they are.
What? They're not socially acceptable.
Men's nipples are.
Men's
totally
are
social.
yes, that's the point. Yeah,
It's
I guess
the other
so.
way.
I don't know what I was talking about there.
Yeah.
So
Now I'm confused.
now I'm lost.
Why did you do this to
Yeah,
us?
how did you? How dare you? This
Lucky
is how ADD
Catopes?
works.
Catopes?
Nipples. Like I can't stop talking about nipples. Thinking about nipples. But
Like on a-
yeah, Flat Earther show. Got it. So
we forgot to talk about the Adult Swim night. That's what I.
oh,
was
that's
thinking.
right. Fuck. Yeah,
But
this
anyway,
is something. This
but
is
anyway,
something. Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks,
The reason why we were thinking about Hey, yo, Brittany, thank you for the host.
Hey, yo, Brittany.
No, I mean, we were at the Adult Swim last week, and
Yeah.
the comedian show host.
Yes. Forgot his name.
Made like a freestyle rap all about nipples, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. I'm glad that made you think about it
Chocolate
because
chip
that was
nipples.
super fun. That was like super fun. Like that Adult Swim thing. Like it was a
great.
little itchy. Leia did some dancing, which was dope.
That was hilarious.
Um,
But yeah, back on track. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we done with the space part?
I think so. I had another article, but I mean, I don't know.
You had another one?
I did. Well, it did the 17-year-old
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Do you want to go over it?
I guess we can. Yeah. So this
Mine will
was
be pretty quick. It's
Okay.
just a super. Yeah.
This was another thing, and this probably. I mean, this is just kind of like a cool conversation here. Is that I found a couple of articles actually about this young 17-year-old girl who is being trained by NASA to go to Mars, right? And you're kind of like
How are you
when I-
training this person?
Well, like the first time when I read the article, I was like, duh? Like, of
What do you
course
mean?
they are, right?
I wouldn't think that.
Well,
I
so
wouldn't-
well, if you think about it,
How
so
do you
it's
train
like
somebody to do that?
because well, right now the only thing is that so like when they went through like going to the moon and like getting people into space and everything, it was a race. Right?
Yeah.
It was like we gotta get there yesterday. So like anybody that was at the age that they were, as far as like scientists and astronauts and everything, or what they turned into astronauts, was all like they gotta go now.
Oh.
Right? And they created the resources. Now what sucks is that we're not in that same kind of what's the term I'm looking
Race?
for? Like not only race but a sense of urgency.
Gotcha.
We don't have that same sense of urgency like we did when going to the moon. So now we're like, yeah, we'll make it. We'll eventually
We
go to
know.
Mars. We know we're going to go to Mars. We just know eventually. So some of these Mars missions aren't for another like decade or two, that will actually get people to Mars. So like they're thinking ahead of the game in this regard, and they're like talking to young kids, and they're just like, you're probably going to be the kids at the age that you're able to. You're probably going to go to Mars.
Dang, dude.
Which is crazy, right? So like,
the
imagine
foresight
being.
on that is insane.
It is, and it's like, and so
I can't imagine being in high school. Like, guess what?
I'm going to
You're going to
Mars.
Mars later.
But then at the same time, like their life is nothing but training.
Yeah, but
Which
I'm
is
sure
crazy.
they're like some of the smartest minds that have ever existed.
Without a doubt. Without
They have to
hesitation.
be.
Absolutely. And it's like, and it kind of it reminds me of.
I
the
would love to
documentary.
learn in that setting.
That would be crazy. Like
Yeah,
you're
because
really.
you're gonna be like
But I think the tension is just crazy.
next level.
Next level space
Why do I do
science.
this with my hands?
Because you're containing all of your excitement for
Just
space
like
in there, dude.
there's so much knowledge for space.
Yeah.
And how do you hold it all?
Yeah,
Oh.
modern day Cold War. Yeah, I mean, it would be like a war of some kind that would force us to go to Mars in some degree. But so I thought it was
Hopefully
pretty cool.
not.
So just a couple of quick things if you guys want to look up. I don't really have to go into the details of it, but her name is Alyssa Carson. She was born in 2001.
I was 10 years old.
Oof. She was born in
11, I mean.
2001. In Hammond, Louisiana. So, she's an astronaut trainee aiming to be on the first human mission to Mars. At the age of 3, she already knew she wanted to travel to Mars, but unlike a lot of dreams that come from the wild imagination of toddlers, she's en route to make it a reality. So there's like a bunch of articles about her specifically that is out there, which is just unbelievable. This has been happening for the past couple of years that she's kind of been in the spotlight in that degree, but but she's training now to be an astronaut at the point where because here's the other thing is like when they were developing the technology to get us to the moon, it wasn't very far. Like they kind of knew. It was like, hey, you get a big old rocket and you shoot them there.
Launch it off.
But like going to Mars is a whole different ballgame because you're like months and months and months and months to get there,
Right.
and coming back. And especially if we want to get the person to come back, so like, it's gonna take us a handful of years to get the technology to get us there, sustain us there, and then bring us back.
Yeah, dude.
So like that's what I so that's why I was like, yeah, duh. Like they're training 17-year-old
Yeah, that makes sense
kids to
that you
do
would
it.
have to like train your whole life.
Yeah, you training your
that.
whole life because we have no idea what to expect out there.
That's crazy.
You know, and it's like, and it makes me think of the documentary
Crash course in like 6 months. I'd do it.
Oh yeah, oh for sure.
I'm not gonna do it for like
Independence Day, that
15
shit?
years.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. But it's cool. So I just watched Independence Day yesterday.
As you should, as many Americans should. Floyd, R.I.P.
Today is our Independence Day.
One of the most epic independence speeches.
Speeches in
ever.
general in the movie. Inspirational. But like, so what was the other thing? Fuck, this brain of ours.
Sorry.
Dude. It's okay. So yeah, it
boy.
reminds me of the documentary that's on Netflix right now. I'm pretty sure.
Called
Mars Generation.
Oh,
the Mars
gotcha.
Generation.
You have talked about this.
Yeah. Have you seen it yet?
No.
Still? Dude, watch.
I need to. I have time now.
Yes,
so...
that is like watch it tonight. Okay. Probably wanted to stream a little bit more, but you gotta watch it soon. And here's the reason why. So the Mars Generation is exactly the same thought, and it's like it's a whole documentary following like a group of kids that basically went to space camp. Super jealous,
So
right? And they're all like, I want to go to Mars. Like I'm studying to be an astronaut. I'm like 13 fucking years old.
Let's go.
You know, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. You know, so it's
Pack
like
my pogs. Let's go.
Sorry, I fucking know what pogs are. Come on. Pack my Nintendo DS.
Can't leave my fucking Earth without my 3DS, bro.
I got my Switch,
Got my
bro.
Nintendo Switch, dude.
Gotta keep my Switch.
Gotta play Fortnite with the homies.
Fortnite with my fucking spinners.
And I can't leave without my fucking vape, dude. I
God.
cannot leave.
See, they're not like 17-year-old. Well, yeah, they're like 7. But anyway, so like, so the Mars Generation, check it out. It's like a really cool documentary on this whole thought of like kids training to be astronauts to go to Mars specifically.
They're training to become Martians.
Yes.
So tight.
How fucking crazy is that? And it's reality, and people are actually doing
Oh,
it.
that's so cool.
It's incredibly inspiring. So look it up. Put whatever money you can towards it. Like let's be a part of
Let's
this and
do
make
it.
it happen.
Speaking of scientific endeavors, for those of you guys who follow the show on a consistent basis, catch my streams, you guys know that I stream and we donate to a pretty badass charity called the Multidisciplinary Association of Psychedelic Studies. Their MAPS, as they're known, they have a cure for PTSD.
Much easier to say.
Yes, very, very easy. But yeah, MAPS has found a cure for PTSD. PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. Essentially, what PTSD is, the mechanism behind like how the brain works and all that. When somebody has a traumatic event, they have that memory, the one that haunts them, imprinted in their short-term memory. And what they found is with MDMA and psychotherapy together, by the 11th or 12th session, they're moving that memory from short-term to long-term memory and curing them of PTSD. They're having the success rate is insane. They're also touching base with these people about 3 to 4 years later to see if they have any relapse or if the memories have resurfaced or if there's any sort of PTSD residual left over, and there isn't. It's the only treatment that they have for this mental disorder where once your therapy sessions are finished, you don't need to take any drugs or be prescribed anything after the sessions are done. You're just
Crazy.
That's it.
Crazy.
Not the reason why I bring this up is because they had their first ever psychedelic conference on the 23rd of June.
Psychedelic conference.
Yeah, so the cool thing is they actually had this planned back in the 70s, but the Reagan administration and the war on drugs they kiboshed it.
I'm not surprised.
Right.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys who don't understand like the reason why we talk about this stuff or the reason why I talk about it, when you say a drug is bad, you have to consider the implications of what that is. So if we don't understand how a drug works, it gets put into schedules. Cannabis, for example, is a Schedule 1 drug, meaning it has no medicinal value, which isn't true. CBD, that sort of thing, like it's helping kids with epilepsy. It helps us with ADHD. It helps with a lot of different things. So that perspective actually was from Hamilton Morris. That's his name.
Nice.
Hamilton Morris, Pharmacopoeia. Check it out on Viceland, Hulu. Super awesome. But the idea is that when you make something illegal or you control a substance, what you're really doing is you're completely omitting it from being scientifically studied. Mm-hmm. And that's the big issue. So psilocybin mushrooms, for example, is a controlled substance. But like just to give you an idea too, like poisons, like mercury, all this stuff that could kill you is known to kill you. That's not a controlled substance.
Yeah.
It's weird how we prioritize that. And the reason why is because this gives you euphoria. And the idea is that if you have anything that makes you euphoric, it should be controlled. Otherwise, you'll become dumb or, bad shit happens to you, right? You'll go down like a toilet hole of, doing bigger and better drugs or whatever it is.
Finding the next high.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So they hosted it in Los Angeles. They called it the Los Angeles Psychedelic Science Symposium, which is one of the fucking coolest names you could give a conference.
For real.
And they did the full talk of everything psychedelic, psilocybin mushrooms, ayahuasca, MDMA, the effects on these drugs and what people have studied, what they've discovered. And the reason why this is important is because it's the first conference they've ever had where they've been able to collectively get together scientists across all known types of studies, get together and educate the public and themselves in a collective setting.
Yeah.
So that it hasn't happened since like the 70s.
Like imagine just like I'm sure it probably exists out there. I wish there was more of this, but like imagine like a TED Talk on this kind of stuff. Like there's starting to become more and more shows, like the Pharmacopoeia one.
Right.
More shows that just highlight the potential of some of these drugs and like the chemical side of it, but like to imagine going to Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con of just psilocybin mushrooms.
Yeah,
stuff.
they
it's
have,
like
somebody made like Shroom Fest or something. But anyway, like no, it's really important for these things to exist so that people can collectively get together and share ideas, share research, share information. Because MDMA, for example, like that was only a party drug. There was a whole Oprah Winfrey thing where like if you take MDMA, you're gonna get holes in your brain, which wasn't true. It was just propaganda. The image that was showed wasn't even from any studies or anything. It was just like bullshit.
Yeah.
So it starts to propagate the media, and then journalists will publish negative articles related to said drug, and then it permeates the social landscape, and then people will shun individuals.
And
so
it clouds all of the truth of it.
Right.
And
you remember?
like,
So this was a unique thing too that got brought up. So like cannabis or marijuana, for example, like when people talk about that, it used to be this like, oh, I shouldn't tell anyone I do that.
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm pretty sure every group of social circle casually does it.
Yeah.
And now it's like socially acceptable.
Right.
But like before,
slowly coming to it. Yeah.
Right. And the prohibition of alcohol, which was like what, 100 years? No, 75 years ago? 30 years ago?
16
When was it?
million years ago.
Prohibition of alcohol.
1930s?
1920.
Oh, yeah.
That's so soon.
That's crazy. That's
like,
almost 100 years.
It's a grandpa ago.
It's one grandpa.
It's one grandpa. Yeah, I mean, like, the crazy thing about that, I mean, that was a really cool social experiment.
Yeah.
To see, like, okay, well, if drugs are bad, like, maybe we should just ban them.
Yeah, so I think it's crazy that, it's taking a shit. And so, like, I mean, it's kind of related.
It took 13 years to end. Yeah. Dude, what?
Don't think
I did not
the
prohibition. I did not know the prohibition was 13 years long.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And it breeded, like, the mafia and, like, all that other stuff. Dude,
Yeah,
okay, so...
And I think hopefully we're a little smarter than the time of almost 100 years ago.
Well, we're still in the prohibition of cannabis and marijuana, right? So,
and that's where, like, I think...
Sorry,
yeah, and I mean, it's gonna be a long...
process.
It's gonna be a long, like, window, from when, cannabis was first kind of illegalized, right?
Yes.
Made illegal.
Prohibited.
And then when it's getting to the point now where it's, like, it's becoming more and more legal, recreationally and everything, so, like...
well, you can tell it's becoming more lax. I mean, the fact that they had this conference, and the reason why I wanted to just talk about
the fact that they were able to, and it was California, because California really just doesn't give they just don't give a shit anymore. So, so they're starting to create that platform for it, but it's like, it's kind of like not really too much different from the conversation before, where it's like you get more information about the Earth and about our surroundings, solar system and stuff like that. It just makes you better understand where we came from, where we're gonna go, and all that kind of stuff. So this is no different, where it's like the more that we just educate everybody about it and make them understand it, not just completely demonize it.
Right.
Like, people are probably demonizing going to space.
Yeah.
And they probably all like they did before they were even considering it. So it's like
yeah.
you break down those barriers. So let's say, you know, we go down a dark path of MDMA. Let's say if
Yeah.
it's just like it's a fucking nightmare, right? And then we know.
Right.
Like we actually know what the truth would be.
Yeah.
Whereas like right now where we have like this horrible opioid epidemic, right?
Right.
Where like that stuff was hidden, the truth was hidden, the truth was lied about.
What do you mean the truth was lied about?
So like I'm listening to a podcast about like why the opioid crisis basically exists, and things like hydrocodone and OxyContin and stuff like that were manufactured from a pharma company like 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
For profit, and they would
Yeah.
sell incorrect information to doctors.
Oh, gotcha.
And they would basically tell the doctors that it's not addictive. And all that kind of shit, and then now we have this where people are crushing it, people are buying up pills on the street and all that kind of shit.
Well,
So-
now we know it's addictive, right?
But we've always known that it's addictive. But it's
Yeah.
like, but it's the profit from the corporation of it that actually silenced a lot of that, and like and basically we're like, yeah. So there's a whole story about that, but it's like. But it's
think,
kind of
like,
the same
I
thing
think
where it's
when
like you educate everybody.
I think like I don't know. This was an added filter from that Hamilton Morris podcast.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to demonize the pharmaceutical companies and the drugs for the responsible like addictions and deaths. But you have to remember that it's ultimately up to the person who's doing said things.
That is true, but if you're
unless they're being lied to,
right, and
in
that's
which case
where the
you're
big
talking
thing
about
is.
an uneducated adult who does not know about this stuff.
And so that's the
and
point.
that's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the point of just like of the education side of it, you
Right.
know? And it's like you have more things like this where people have an open environment to explore this and to learn about it,
study it,
and because it's not going to be in schools,
no,
probably not anytime soon.
No.
So the other outlet is this other stuff, and it's like, and we have this kind of untapped potential of just, you know, social media is just in your hand everywhere, and
Right.
like
And we're
the
craving
internet is
information.
here. Yeah, exactly. We're as a species, we're craving information, but we're not focused on the right information that we need,
Right.
like things that are going to get us next level or raise your EXP. Am I right?
Yes.
So, but that's the thing. It's like, you know, we need to have more things like that, and so that I could get educated, because like I've only experimented with cannabis, and like
Yeah.
that's the limit that I've gotten to so far. I
Right.
don't know much about the other drugs or the experience that you get, or
Right.
you know just anything about it, right? I mean,
Right.
it's like all I see is just people doing it and people talking about it and getting
Right.
way excited about it.
Right, but if you had like
Talking about
scientific
colors.
data and like
Yeah.
what it was and like the experiences and you know, hey, this is
Controlled environments and like the, you know, if I was more educated, like let me put it this way, it's like if I was more educated on that kind of like scientific experience, because like people talk about it, and like you've talked about this too, it's just like your experience on said drug, right? And like
But it's
you
different
could totally
every time.
and it's different every time. It's like you hear the people, it's like when I was on ecstasy I saw this and this, and it's like, great, I'm glad you're telling me this, sounds very exciting, but I still need to know like the factual kind of like, what is this doing to my brain? What is the harm that it might be doing to my brain? What is the not harm that it's doing to my
Right.
brain? Like, how can I create a controlled environment for this kind of thing and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And so, like, you know, people are doing that more and more with cannabis, and now it doesn't really matter because people are more and more comfortable with it. But like,
Right.
with a lot of these other drugs, MDMA included, like, I know of it and I have heard of it, you know, but give me the, you know, the scientific explanation of it so that I could better understand it.
Right.
You know, so like, it'll happen more and more, thankfully, like this.
Yeah, with the start of a conference like
Right.
this, and I know that they're going to start like they said they said they were broadcasting it on Facebook Live too, so people could like,
cool.
watch it. They
Nice.
had 60,000-ish people watching it,
Damn.
like from the comfort of their own homes.
Nice. See, that's the information at your fingertips kind
Right.
of thing, you know.
So
And I
cool.
guess I'm proud of Facebook for not shutting that up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm proud of them
I
for
feel
not
like
doing
they
it.
don't need any more bad publicity.
Oh, hell no.
You know, like after the whole Zuckerberg thing, and I mean, they got more bad publicity with the whole selling. We didn't sell
yeah.
the information, but we sold access to the information.
Which is the same
This
thing.
Shit
It's
loophole.
like the
loophole.
same
But
goddamn
anyway,
thing.
you know it was bad when like the shit got leaked, and like then you started seeing advertisements for
Yeah,
Facebook.
on Hulu and stuff like
Yeah,
that, where
you're
it's
like,
just
what's
like,
going
at
on?
Facebook, you know, we know that you're getting
that you're
Sometimes
connecting to your
wrong
parents.
information. Yeah, it's just like it's like fuck you, dude. You're not gonna get back from this.
Yeah.
You know, so
Every time I log in too, it just bothers me
I
to
know.
fuck up. Where it's like you have a notification, and I click it, and it's like you didn't finish filling out your profile. It's like I've never finished my
I
profile.
don't need to fucking stop.
You don't need to know what I like. You don't need to know where I worked. All you need to know is my name, and that's it.
Lee.
Bye.
Give me one.
Yeah.
Just let me just be Lee.
And you can tell, like, I can tell that it's dated because the advertisements within Facebook are for things that, like, I've bought or already
Oh,
bought.
100%.
And I don't need, like, any more shit. There's no, like, anything that's being advertised is not like, oh, this is new. You
Yeah.
don't know about this. It's
Yep.
just like, I already have it.
I'm looking for a new
I love
pair. I'm looking for a new pair of sneakers, and I'm like checking like Adidas website and Nike's website, and sure enough, here on Facebook, it's like check out these Adidas shoes,
Yeah,
and
it's
like
you were just looking at these, bitch.
I'm like fuck, dude. Oh, Facebook, garbage water.
So, overarching theme of this show has been information. More information will allow us to break barriers, whether they're the human experience or the global universal experience. Right?
So good. Yeah, so I think just kind of wrapping things up for that, like that's a great way to put it. And I think that like for those of you just joining us in said chat, where we just talked about like the Space Force.
Yeah.
And kind of our perception on it. We had a great video from Neil deGrasse Tyson that again is in the EXP resources in the Discord. That you can check out that video. It's like 5.5 minutes long, inspiring as fuck. Goes
Yep.
by like that because you're just so drawn.
Listen
in.
to that man's buttery voice.
It's just like, and so we talked about Space Force. You know, talked about like how they're training 17-year-old kids, in this regard, one specifically, to go to Mars in another decade or two. And then we talked about MAPS and their first
MAPS.
Yeah, their first conference that they had in
The
California.
first Psychedelic Symposium conference. It's so
Fucking
dope.
Cool name. Hopefully more to come. We'll check out. We'll see what goes in California.
If I find the
Maps.org.
link on Facebook, I'll link it so you guys can watch it. I'm definitely want to watch that conference.
That'd be rad.
And then shout out to Hamilton Morris Pharmacopoeia. Is that what it is? Hold on.
Yeah, on
Hamilton's
Vice, he's got a Viceland show. Viceland.
Pharmacopoeia. Yeah,
Hamilton's
Pharmacopoeia.
Pharmacopoeia.
It's a Viceland show where this chemist
So good.
goes through and does psychedelic substances all over the world and explains it in a way. The way I would explain it is like he's the Terrence McKenna of this generation because he's articulating how he's feeling in a very
he's like high as fuck, and he's like, these are the things that I'm experiencing right now. And
exactly.
It's
He's
like, very
articulating it
fascinating,
in a very scientific way and making you really understand,
Very
how it works, and
fascinating.
he knows how the chemicals work too.
Yeah.
So he's like I'm feeling this
yeah.
because of the ambo hydroxycodilbo
Sobo
thing.
Pobo.
He knows
But it's like
words.
he's like a hyper like hipster kid.
Yeah.
Which kind of threw me off for a second and kind of turned me off, but then I was like, oh shit, this guy knows his stuff. So
yeah,
it's like
he's a smart fucking dude.
some of his earlier episodes when he's got like the long hair and he's just like this scrawny guy, like like hiking through Africa, like looking for this like frog to trip out balls on or something like that.
The buffo frog. Yeah.
So it was at first I was like, what is this kid doing? But now he's like really taking a much more professional route.
Yeah, man.
So shout out to Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia.
Yeah, and you guys can catch us again like every week, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. CT or sooner. We'll post updates on the Twitter. There'll be links you guys can click, of course. And if you want some dank memes, stop by the channel every once in a while. Twitch.tv/Confidant64. I don't know why I'm saying.
Call it all.
It'll
right
be
there,
up. It'll
you're
be a
right
link.
here.
It'll be right here.
You're literally in the website right above, which is, let me try to get this. So it's
there.
https.
Stop. Stop it.
www.twitch.tv.
You're doing drugs? Stop it. Get some help. All right.
So that's our show for tonight. We appreciate everybody for showing up and hanging out with us for this evening. So again, check us out every week. Check out the t-shirts on the website. Follow us on the website. Follow us on everything. Follow us on the internet. Follow us to space when we go to space.
Follow us to the
And
Psychedelic Symposium.
we're both gonna be generals in the Space Force in the future.
Probably not.
Promise?
But I'll transport my consciousness into a robot so I can be a space general.
That was a conversation we had one time, and I love it. That's our show, guys.
We'll see you guys later. Thank you for being so awesome and asking questions, and thank you so much for all the support as always, the bits, the host, all that fun stuff. We're gonna take a break and then I'll be back. But I'll see you guys soon.
Give us kisses. Bye, guys. I love
Bye.
you.
Oh, wait, that's the internet. This
That's
is
the
what I
internet, and that's the goodbyes.
need. See you soon.
Okay.
Oh.
It turned out great.